Cool. So, new month, new things. I'm still working on the Coinbase integration. I did most of the easy stuff, which is the basically the querying APIs. Now I'm going onto the actual nitty gritty, which is building the transaction, and it's a bit tricky because they want us to be able to like generate a raw transaction in one endpoint, and then basically get the raw bytes, and then submit
I'm
it
sorry,
into
I didn't
another.
quite hear what you said at the very top of your
Oh, sorry.
what you said.
I'm working on so Coinbase requires Rosetta, which is
Coinbase.
yeah,
Okay, got
sorry.
it. Okay.
And so Crim is in very early talks with them. I mean, they've been in talk with them for a long time,
Hmm.
but the state of the discussion is like, do you have Rosetta? Yes, no, no. Okay, talk to us when you have it. So
Okay.
we may never get integrated, but we it's not a high cost to just build it
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's just do it. Absolutely.
and worst case some I hear some other exchange may be integrated with Rosetta as well, so could be
Okay.
useful. And I mean, worst comes to worst, it's still like an interesting project for people to look into it.
So, what are you having to do it? How are you doing it?
So basically I need to integrate into a Docker file something that launches a full node. Well,
Okay.
without HiveMind, just like because I basically Coinbase doesn't care about the social layer. They just
Hmm.
want the
Yeah, they want to be transactions,
yeah
right?
the money layer. So luckily I can like skip all of the heavy I mean, most of the heavy parts.
Hmm.
And then on top of it, I'm building a backend slash I mean essentially a front end for Hive where it's right now it's Hive.js based because Wax requires TypeScript, and I'm not confident enough in that language to really build something that's Coinbase compliant. So I'm just building, and also it's just a regular API. And so yeah, basically Rosetta is a set of APIs that you need to build with like specific parameters, most of
Okay.
which do not apply to Hive DE. I mean to Hive as a whole, so it's a bit tricky. Like for instance, they ask about an endpoint to return the mempool, but we don't have a mempool, so you can skip that endpoint. But that gives you an idea because
Okay.
the spec is made to match all of the blockchains, and so sometimes there is stuff like when was this block mined, and
Yeah,
we
yeah,
don't
I
mind,
got it.
etc., etc., etc. So yes, it's mostly very boring stuff where you just spend a lot of time building building APIs that with like a ton of different parameters that returns the same thing. Um, so yeah,
Okay, so you're basically starting by creating a bunch of dummy functions and then filling them in with
yeah,
functionality, I
pretty
guess.
much. Um,
Okay.
I don't expect this will take that much time. The only thing that will be that's a bit not scary, but like that will be more difficult is building the raw transactions. Um,
Oh, that's probably where Wax, if anything, would be the most useful. Would be there.
because I know how to do that in on Ethereum and Bitcoin, but I don't know how transactions are actually built on Hive D. It's not something
Yeah,
I've ever built
I
into.
think that actually might be the place where you would consider looking at Wax. Would be for the transaction building.
But is it possible to sign a transaction offline and then submit it later, or is there like a time thing on Hive D?
Yes, yes, it is possible. And you just need to use another tool, Beekeeper, which will allow to hold your private keys safely. And then you can prepare offline transactions, sign them, then somehow transfer to other place and or just at different time broadcast them.
Mm.
And all such things you can quite easily, I think, do using Wax interface. Some examples are done. I hope we will prepare more more snippets very soon, maybe next week, and they will show how to do that maybe for every operation which is present in Hive. Right now there are only some short snippets which present some parts of code, but I plan to prepare some just working examples from begin to the end, just to reuse it directly at client side. And but my opinion would be to push it directly to TypeScript Playground. But before that, we need to change a few things. For example, move this package directly to npm registry from our GitLab. and that needs some work here.
Okay, so I guess I would just hold off on the transaction part till the end and work on the other parts.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think, as I good understood, maybe it will be also helpful to use Wax just for calling APIs from given node, because it allows typed interface to use typed interface of APIs to do such calls, and it can make things easier and next faster to find some bugs or other problems, because
Mm.
allows also define some validators of responses and requests. Examples or some simple examples are defined already in Wax snippets. That's part of GitLab repository, which is accessible from code tree. Then you can select snippets folder, and there are few examples just as present as simple parts of code.
So if I properly understand what Bartek just said, I think he's saying that there's been some pre-checks added to the code. So, Hive doesn't always give the best error responses when there's a problem with the parameters you pass. And I think what he's saying
Yes,
is
yes, yes.
you're doing verification in the library to help report better errors.
Yes, and of course you can also define own validators and own APIs, and that's quite straightforward process. And once done once, probably next time will be even simpler. Our code is really simple, and if you want, I can point parts of code you can use as examples, and follow your needs, because not all Hive APIs are already defined in Wax, because we didn't want to push too much code there, and everyone can make very easy own call which he needs, and just has minimal application which uses few calls, what probably is in most cases needed.
I see. And Wax is exclusively TypeScript, right? Because I looked at the
Uh,
repository and there was some Python bindings.
Yes, yes. At the end, Wax will be also providing Python interface,
I
and
see.
actually, it already provides some functionality to Python, but you can of course try to use it. There is also some library called Helpy,
Mm-hmm.
which and I hope name is it starts from help, not from hell. But in my opinion, it is too early to seriously use it,
Mm.
because we would like to build object interface over this library. But as I know, our guys, by using Helpy library and Beekeeper, Beekeeper tool, also wrapped into Python, uh, just was able to produce some huge amount of transactions, because we did some performance tests here. So it is definitely possible. There is also some module called schemas, which provides types specific to Hive operations, some APIs. So probably everything provides some tools for good coding, but this is not yet so good integrated as in TypeScript. So you need just to know a lot more details to start from Python instead of TypeScript right now.
I
Yes.
see.
But of course, it is possible, and some things works. You can create transaction, then sign it, and next broadcast using Hive API. So such flow works, but as I know, it is much more low level specific than TypeScript implementation.
Yeah, I mean, and you're pretty comfortable with JavaScript, so I would say TypeScript would be the place to go.
Yes, I think if you has some application which just need to transpose from API data to another API or just to SQL storage, I don't know. TypeScript could be a good solution. And a few months ago, we have also developed some example library called Worker B. This is some bot library which reads some data from 5G endpoints, for example, streamed blocks or streamed transactions. Maybe that's the interesting part for you. And then allows to process them in some way and produce some other output, also signed. So that's another aspect which can be interested for you if you are producing transactions and broadcast them, because I'm not sure if it is your case also.
Okay, I see. That's interesting. Well, I haven't started on all of the transaction side, so I'll probably message you offline after when I get to that part.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, that's about it for me.
Okay. As far as what we've been working on, I guess everybody knows the main thing we did is we released a new version of the stack for all the half API node code last week. And so far, I mean, we've had a few reports back. Everything I think has been smooth so far. I don't know of any major problems, but we're still waiting for feedback from a bunch of the operators just to see if anything goes, if they have any problems. But I'm not really expecting anything. We've been testing it quite a lot for quite a long time now. So I think it's all going pretty smooth. So at this point, we're starting to look at basically what we're going to do next. And we've started, I guess, well, we're also just continuing all the projects we've got currently going on, like Wax. That's a good example. And there's a bunch of other ones. The command line wallet, a lot of progress still going on there. We're working on Denser, which is the condenser replacement. We're still working the Half Block Explorer while it's released. We're still making quite a lot of improvements to that as well, especially the UI side of it. I think the base API layer is pretty reasonable at this point, but I'm sure we'll still be tweaking it, and especially as we develop the UI. But the UI is where most of the work is going right now, as far as I can tell. And let's see what else. I guess the other main thing, we're kind of, now that we've got a stack where we can quickly develop and release new stuff in sort of more incremental way than we've had previously. We expect to have a faster design cycle going forward. So we're looking to release new versions of HiveMind and AppBlock Explorer probably before, in the next few months, I'd hope. We'll see at the end, because we are going to make some dramatic changes to HiveMind still, just to increase this, make it scale faster and things like that. HiveMind's the one thing we did a fair amount to it. I won't say we didn't. We did quite a bit, but there's still a lot more that we know we could do on the HiveMind side. The other stuff we released, even like Half Block Explorer, in some ways I think it's more mature because it was developed originally as a half application, whereas HiveMind was not originally half application. So still got a lot of legacy code in there before we knew as much as we know nowadays about how to develop this kind of stuff. And of course, we didn't create it originally either, so there's that. But overall, so we are going to release, like I said, a new version of HiveMind. And then beyond that, we're looking forward to, what we might do in terms of other apps too. So I've already mentioned, I think one of the biggest things we'll be doing next will be releasing a Light Accounts app. And this will be really important for the second layer ecosystem, just a common way that we can have apps. Anybody can create apps that can interact with accounts, the accounts that are created this way. We'll probably be working closely with the VSC guys on that too, just to be sure that we have an alignment on how we're thinking about all that stuff. But so far, I've looked at what they've done, and it looks to me like everything they're doing can just fit nicely on top of the stuff we're doing already. So I don't think there's going to be any issues there. And then beyond that, we're looking at what we'll be doing to Hive D2. We've got a meta issue out there. It's got a ton of stuff that we've had thinking about doing for a long time, and you can sort of, I can't even go through it. It's too many issues, but you feel free to review it. It's out there, and the Hive repo is like a big issue. And I think of the issues there, one of the most significant is the one we've talked about for a bit, which will be the concept of not having light nodes, HiveD nodes that don't need to store the entire blockchain. This will primarily be for apps. I think will be one of the drivers for this, is that so we can develop more lightweight apps that don't need to store a whole block log. I mean, of course, you can always just use an API node for your data, but if you want to make your app totally independent of anything else except the blockchain data itself, and not having to keep a block log around will really help in that. Certainly will help for half servers and things like that, where they won't have to. That's a big chunk of data that no longer has to be stored there locally. And let's see what else. I guess we're also still looking to do some performance improvements to HiveD itself. I think one of the more interesting things is we're looking at overhauling some of the memory management that might give us some significant speed ups. And I can't say for sure because we haven't tested it yet, but in our previous experience in other code bases, we've seen that that's sometimes had dramatic improvements. Whether it'll be the case for HiveD, it's hard to say yet, but I have my hopes. And I guess along the lines of performance improvements, Bartek tells me today that they finished completing a test, which we've been thinking about for a while, which was we've tested HiveD before with using larger block sizes. So right now our block size is 64K. I mean, which is, every 3 seconds that serves quite a bit of data, and it's not been a problem to date. But inevitably, as we grow, we'll need to handle larger block sizes. Now, the blockchain itself is designed, since the peer-to-peer layer was set at a limit of 2 megabytes when we first developed it, and so we have done tests in the past on HiveD. We've done these I guess you could call them surge tests, where we have a huge number of transactions in test nets, and we've already proved out that HiveD can handle the 2 megabyte blocks, but we had never tested it with half, and so we had some concerns. This is a whole new subset of which is basically now storing a huge amount of important data. And we needed to make sure that it could also handle those larger blocks. And Bartek told me today that the tests they've done so far seem to indicate that we're not going to have a problem there either. So and I mean, without even making any adjustments to half itself, and just the code as it currently is operating, was able to operate in live sync with 2 megabyte size blocks being sent at it in a test net situation. So I think that's extremely positive. We'll still be doing some more testing, but I think we're on the right track there. So we have lots of headroom. I mean, just to put that in perspective, a 2 megabyte block is about 30 times larger than our current blocks. So that's, if we're not even filling up our normal blocks right now at 64K, we have plenty of headroom on that side now. So I guess there's a lot of stuff going on, but I don't want to clog up the whole time talking about individual stuff. So I'll pass it on to anybody else who wants to talk about what they're working on now.
Interesting part specific to this performance test related to 2 megabyte blocks is that everything has been generated using standard interfaces of HiveD, so broadcast APIs and Python tools, which also used WAX and Beekeeper to prepare and sign and broadcast such transactions. So there is no backdoor interfaces which offer some
faster
way. That's everything done on regular nodes. And yes, on single server, but they were used several nodes and several processes just to have simple communication between them. But this part, everything was done as usually. So to me, it's very good surprise and really good results that it seems to work, and the server was not so fast. Actually, we today was surprised because half results was verified on some regular developer machine, which is not the best and has just 32 gigabytes of RAM and just regular dev machine. So this is even not faster server. So that's amazing that everything seems to working so good. And as I know from collected stats, block processing, including data dumps, measured probably near to 300 of milliseconds. So that was average time of storing and processing given block.
Was that 300 milliseconds?
300 of milliseconds.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. That's a great number.
Yes, I also think so.
Yeah, Blocktrace, regarding the Hive nodes, we've got the our latest server. So we started syncing a couple of days ago. It's a much stronger machine than the one I had before.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm really happy so far. It's a 128 gig RAM, 7950 X3D.
Oh wow, that's going to be
Yeah,
super fast. I've worked on, we do. That's our fastest machine here, is what the one you're describing. Except you got 128 gigabytes on it. Ours only has
yeah,
64 gigabytes.
yeah. We're the strongest guys now.
I think you are. that's a generation above the one we're using for our production. We're using for production. We're only using 5950, so or 5900
nice.
actually. So
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
that's going to be. I know I can tell you sort of the speeds you're going to get because I do know what we get on ours. So you're going to have around 14 hours for half to replay, and it's only like 2 days after that for everything. So under
Yeah,
3 days, you should have a full replay.
Yeah, I did start. I did a sync though, not a replay. It took me like
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It took me like 24 hours, I'd say.
Yeah, that sounds
And-
reasonable.
yeah, and then for the indices, like 5 hours or something.
Yeah, 4 or 5
Yeah.
hours is normal for the indices.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're really going to see the boost is going to be in HiveMind. HiveMind, it's usually like around I would say 80 hours, and with those machines, it comes out for us in under 2 days. It's just around 48 hours.
Yeah, I'm
So
hopeful. I'm hopeful. It's been to now like 26 hours. It's been
yeah,
doing the Hive Mind. So if it concludes in less than 2 days, I'm more than happy.
yeah, it's pretty impressive considering how long it used to take even before it was, we had a lot fewer blocks.
Yeah. But a couple of things I noticed. I don't know why when I'm checking the admin interface, it says. I mean, first I cannot access the node via API directly. I can access the admin interface slash HA proxy or the admin slash versions.
Okay.
There's an error on the Caddy. I think it says unhealthy on Caddy. I'll share the links with you on.
Okay, well, it would be unhealthy right now because you're not
fully synced.
I think so. But send me the links. Yeah, I'll send me the links. I'll take a look. I don't usually look at Caddy too often, to be honest. Are you looking at HA proxy you're looking at HA proxies results?
There's the admin interface that says
that goes to HA
versions.
proxy. Yeah,
and then the one that,
versions. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
It's saying unhealthy about a couple of things, so including a Caddy and let me see, half is good, HA proxy is good, health checks is fine, HiveMind is fine. There was one thing other than that says unhealthy. Oh no, it's gone. It seems. Okay, I don't know. Know. So it's only Caddy. Oh no, wait. The Hafa Postgres. It says unhealthy. I don't know. Is it because we're syncing HiveMind?
I wouldn't. No. It should already be healthy. So something is strange. Okay, we'll talk about it offline.
Okay. I'll send you the links. All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
About API, I still have one question. I'm still running RC8 to deploy the latest version. Do we need to replay or not?
If you're running RC8, I'm trying to remember. That wasn't the last one, right? That we went RC9 after that.
Yeah.
RC8, I do not know. I will have to. I'm sorry, I can't remember really clearly. I'll have to go back and look again at some of my notes, and I'll get back to you on that offline.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, the most likely issue could be something with Half-Block Explorer or HiveMind. You might have to replay that. I doubt you'd have to replay Hive, but I'll check. I'll definitely have to check.
I don't mind replying anymore. It's fast.
Yeah, you got that machine. We have 2 of those machines, and I absolutely love them. They are just so fantastic.
I mean, you look at it running, and it's like it doesn't care. You just open HTOP, and most of it's smooth. Everything is functional.
Yeah. It's a really great. Those are really great machines, and they've got a new. I'm really looking forward to the new generations too, because somehow they're supposed to be much faster. So I'm like, how you do it? But okay, we'll see.
Crazy technology, man. Yeah, seriously.
It really is. Okay. Anybody else have any questions or anything? I might be out of topics?
I have some questions for Archange if you have time to talk. If not, we can take it for the next time. I'm not very in a rush for that.
It will be for next time because I have an appointment in a few minutes. So
Yeah, sounds good.
Uh,
No worries.
just go on. If I can reply, just ask.
Well, it's about if the badges you manage are open source and if we can integrate this into the, let's say, regular stack like Hive, etc.
I think we will need to talk about it
Yeah,
later.
no,
because-
I expected this answer.
Yeah.
Sure, no worries.
Yeah. Sorry.
No problems. It's me who rescheduled anyways. Cool.
And I'm driving at the same time, so
Oh my god, stay safe. Yeah, that's all the topics I had for today.
Okay, thanks guys. Nice
Thanks.
talking to you.
Have a
See
good
ya.
day.
okay,
Thank
bye.
you. Bye-bye.